then she will start. ठीक है, हो गई recording. चलो.
Namaste, Kurumjari, and a very good morning to one and all present in this webinar. To mark the beginning, we offer our salutations to Ma Saraswati and invoke the blessings of the goddess of knowledge with a shlok. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Vidya Rupena Sanstita Namastasyai 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 Namo Namah. Salutation to the goddess Saraswati, who bestows upon us the fearlessness of life in the form of knowledge and intelligence. With this supplication, I, Dr. Madhurani, Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, on behalf of the Vidya Vistar team at Deshbandhu College, welcome our invited speaker for today's webinar, Shri Kamal Prabhuji, for gracing our event and sparing his valuable time to enrich and enlighten our participants. I welcome our respected principals, Professor Rajendra Kumar Pandey sir from Deshbandhu College and Shri Sorai Shank sir from Pettigrew College. We extend a warm welcome to the conveners and coordinators for Vidya Vistar scheme from both the colleges. I take this opportunity to welcome all the respected and dear faculty members joining us today. We dearly welcome all the students who are participating in this webinar from Deshbandhu College, Pettigrew College, and various other colleges and institutes. To begin with, I request Dr. Archana Tripathi to kindly play Kulgeet of University of Delhi and request all the participants to kindly arise.
जयति जय जय जयति जय जय ज्ञान का लोक अनुपम सकल वसुधा निज कुटुंब की भावना संस्कृति सनातन आधुनिक शिक्षा पुरातन ज्ञान धाराओं का संगम कोटि वंदन निष्ठा कृति सत्यम के मंगल दिव्य भावों का समागम जयति जय जय जयति जय जय ज्ञान का आलोक अनुभव महाविद्यालयों के परिसरों से चिर सुशोभित श्रेष्ठ गुरुजन कर रहे छात्र और छात्राएं दीक्षित साधना संकल्प संयम चेतना नवकांत संसारों का उद्गम जयति जय जय जयति जय जय ज्ञान का लोक अनुपम जयति जय जय जयति जय जय ज्ञान का लोक अनुपम ज्ञान का आलोक अनुपम ज्ञान का लोक अनुपम ज्ञान का आलोक अनुपम.
Thank you, Dr. Archana. Our team is always guided and stimulated to work continuously to achieve the objectives of the Vidya Vistar scheme by our principal, Professor Rajendra Kumar Pandey sir. Is it feasible for sir to kindly address the gathering?
मधु सर शायद कहीं मीटिंग में बिजी है.
Okay. Although sir has already informed us that due to prior commitments, he would not be able to speak in this gathering, but he has conveyed his best wishes, blessings, and gratitude to all the participants. I now request and invite Dr. Aditya Saxena sir, Associate Professor in the Department of Physics and our IQAC coordinator to kindly address the gathering.
Good morning and a very warm welcome to our distinguished speaker, Kamal Prabhuji. Also, I heartily welcome all our colleagues from Pettigrew College, our respected principal, Professor Rajan Kumar Pandey, sir, principal from Pettigrew College, Mr. K.S. Shuring sir, uh, the conveners of the Vidya Vistar scheme at Deshbandhu College, Dr. Moses and Dr. Parul, the conveners from Pettigrew College, Mr. M. Kapung Singh and Dr. Gaikwad Lung, the science coordinators, Dr. Bela Bhatia and Dr. Parna Shekhar ma'am, and the art coordinators, Dr. Chotu Ram sir and Dr. Anand Kumar sir. First of all, I would really like to express my gratitude to Kamal Prabhu ji for accepting our offer to speak on this very, very relevant and I think in the current times, extremely important topic of the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita, specifically for the youth, because today, unless and until we give direction to our youth in the right, to be on the right path, and that right path does not just mean what we have been traditionally been learning as the path where, one has to be treading on a very, very righteous treading on the path of righteousness and truth and all, but also a path which will lead to that ultimate satisfaction and happiness, because that is, I think, something which all of us seek in our life. And the Bhagavad Gita is all about attaining that happiness and satisfaction in this very life, in each and everything that we do. Specifically, I think the shloka that has been quoted for today's event, that is very, very relevant, because unless and until we understand that our real enemy lies within us, till such time we will not be able to attain that satisfaction and happiness, because everybody else whom we perceive as our enemy, as our opponent, as our competitor, is just a shadow of our own inner demons. So unless and until we conquer those inner demons, we will not be able to be at peace with ourselves. We will not be able to lead a happy and satisfied life. So in that sense, I feel that Kamal Prabhuji's coming over here and gracing this occasion and speaking to all of us would be a great opportunity for all of us to understand the teachings of Srimad Bhagavad Gita and to imbibe and implement it in our daily life. So once again, sir, I welcome you and thank you everyone, and I wish all the best for this event. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your kind word. So to carry forward, I now request and invite Dr. Parul Singh ma'am, Associate Professor in the Department of Chemistry and the convener for this Vidya Vistar scheme at Deshbandhu College, and she will introduce us with the scheme.
Thank you, Dr. Madhu. Am I audible, Madhu? Hello.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Vidya Vistar scheme, I, Parul Singh, extend a warm welcome to Professor Rajendra Kumar Pandey, Principal Deshbandhu College, Dr. K.S. Sureshan, Principal Pettigrew College, Dr. Aditya Saxena, IQVT Coordinator, members of Organizing Committee, all the participants from Pettigrew College and Deshbandhu College and other institutes. Vidya Vistar scheme is an initiative of University of Delhi, aims to mutual respect, cooperation and sharing between two colleges as equal partners. Deshbandhu College, University of Delhi and Pettigrew College, Manipur University signed MOU under the scheme in the year 2021. Many students and faculty-oriented events have been organized under the flagship of Vidya Vistar scheme since its inception. The events ranges from logo designing competition to workshop on use of library e-resources. In the series, today we are organizing an enlightening session on wisdom of yesterday for youth of today, the Bhagavad Gita. As Aditya sir mentioned, the topic is of great relevance in today's synergy. The Bhagavad Gita, written thousands of years ago, holds profound insights that are incredibly relevant to the challenges and opportunity we face in our modern lives. The text clarifies the doubts for betterment of everyone's lives. I hope we will get greatly benefited by today's talk. Today, we have eminent speaker with us, Shri Kamal Prabhuji. consultant to International Goudiya Vedanta Trust. Shri Kamal Prabhuji is graduate from Shri Ram College of Commerce, University of Delhi. He was the table tennis player during his college days. Kamalji is Vice President of Pharma Association Delhi. He is student and prayer of Bhagavad Gita for 35 years. He owns his YouTube channel named Kamal Gita Classes. He was formally initiated in Brahma Madhav Goudiya Sampradaya and now is consultant to International Goudiya Vedanta Trust. He has delivered many talks on Bhagavad Gita at various places. And before inviting Kamalji for the talk, I would like to announce that filling of feedback form is mandatory to get certificate. And link for the same will be shared in the chat box towards the end of the session. And I would like to mention that due to bandwidth problem, audio and video of all the participants will remain closed. And you can post your queries in chat box. Speaker will take all the queries towards the end. May I now invite Shri Kamalji to uncover how yesterday knowledge can illuminate the path of today's youth. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, everybody. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for giving me an opportunity to address all of you on this very important and relevant topic as stated by the earlier speakers here. Let us start the session first by thanking Professor Rajendra Kumar Pandey, sir, Principal of Deshbandhu Gupta College, then Mr. Sorai Shang, sir, Principal of Pettigrew College from Manipur University. Then I would like to convey my special thanks to Vice Principal, Sir Professor Sunil Kayasth ji. Then as we witnessed a small talk by Dr. Aditya Saxena, Sir, Coordinator IQAC. And of course, all the coordinators, conveners, and event coordinators who have been instrumental in bringing up this wonderful opportunity for all of us to interact on this special topic. So, as stated by earlier, ma'am, the session would be around, like my talk would be around 40 to 45 minutes. Let's see how much interesting Lord allows us to make it. And it will be followed by a small question answer session. And since Bhagavad Gita is a very deep topic, so all of us would appreciate the fact that today's session would be kind of a beginner's class. And as future will allow us, if you will show interest in understanding the depth of this sublime knowledge, then I would be more than glad to come along and we will have sessions to cover the depth of the message also in the later part of the year. So let us begin. I have prepared a small PPT which will keep us on track, and you will be able to see and absorb the message by words also. As I have been instructed to use English more, so I will be using English language more to help our esteemed guests from the Manipur area. But in between, I will be speaking a little bit Hindi also for, because there are certain words in our these kind of teachings which are better conveyed in Hindi language. तो आइए अब हम आज का सेशन स्टार्ट करते हैं. सो आई विल बी शेयरिंग माय स्क्रीन एंड आई रिक्वेस्ट द controller of the Zoom meeting to try to keep me also visible on the screen so that my expressions and emotions are also visible to the guests. I hope you are all able to see the screen.
Yes, please, it is visible.
Yeah. So when Dr. Aparna and I discussed the topic, so we came up with mutual collaboration on these words: wisdom of yesterday for youth of today, the Bhagavad Gita. So as my earlier speaker said, that Bhagavad Gita is a very old knowledge which has been prevalent and widely acclaimed worldwide for its depth of philosophical thoughts. So our idea today would be to try to extract the hidden messages which normally youth is not able to grasp when they read it on their own. So how to extract those hidden messages and try to connect with the youth of today. So we will be proceeding to the next slide.
Sir, may I request to kindly start on the slideshow mode?
Okay.
Sir, it is on. Yes, this one, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, it's better, sir. It's better. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, ma'am. So this slide we have already covered. Now, let us first try to understand and evaluate whether there is any need for wisdom or guidance in our lives. As we can see, there are different uh, happenings in our lives on day-to-day basis where sometimes we get confused or we are not able to select the proper path. कभी कभी हमें जिंदगी एक ऐसे दोराहे पे आकर के खड़ा कर देती है कि लेफ्ट जाना है या राइट जाना है, तो वो हमें समझ नहीं पाता. और जनरली ऐसी जगहों पे हम दो जगह पे इसलिए पहुंचते हैं. आई हैव चोजन दीज टू वर्ड्स स्पेशली. I keep on listening to many of my seniors also, and these were contribution from these kind of senior speakers. So tribulation or temptation. So tribulation basically means कि जब जिंदगी में बहुत सारे दुख आ जाएं और हम परेशान हो जाएं और समझ नहीं आता कि क्या करना चाहिए. और उसके अगेंस्ट कभी कभी टेम्पटेशंस भी हमें तंग करती हैं, क्योंकि मान लीजिए एग्जाम है और उधर कोई वर्ल्ड कप का क्रिकेट का मैच है, तो मन कहता है कि क्रिकेट का मैच देख लो और इंटेलिजेंस कहती है कि नहीं नहीं पढ़ाई कर लो. सो टेम्पटेशन और ट्रिबुलेशंस कंटिन्यूअस हमारे इस मनुष्य जीवन का रनिंग एक एपिसोड है जिसको हम डेली विटनेस करते हैं. तो इन सब में हमें गाइडेंस की जरूरत होती है, और उस गाइडेंस के लिए हमें बेसिकली एक ऐसा प्रॉपर रिलायबल सोर्स चाहिए जो कि हमारी सॉल्यूशंस को हमें सामने ला सके. Now, as has been seen worldwide, there are mainly four sources to get guidance. So as you can see on the screen, the first one is practices from past. That is our tradition. So in every family, whichever culture we talk about, there are certain traditions which are passed on to us by our ancestors and our grandparents and then parents, and we keep on following them. So these may be correct to certain extent, but many times it is seen that they lose their relevance because they are not practically suitable for a particular time and date in history. So this has certain limitation. The second is influence of culture. As all of us know, fashion industry and the media and all these kind of latest happenings, which especially the youth gets influenced by. For example, whatever a Bollywood heroine is wearing in the latest movie, then our girls tend to get attracted to those kind of dresses, even the males. And sometimes this wrong practices of smoking, drugs and alcohol are very much advertised and emphasized in these kind of movies and all those digital sections. So youth is very much vulnerable to get attracted, and the after effects are not shown clearly. So once it happens with a person who has got addicted to drugs or smoking and these kind of bad practices, then the life gets destroyed, as well as the health is also deeply badly affected. All of us are aware of this thing. So in order to, let's say, take small examples, let us talk about the tradition issue. Generally, it has been a practice in India that we earlier did not used to go out of our homes late in the night alone, especially. So, unfortunately, all of us, you might have come across a case in the newspapers just 2 days ago, where near Indore, two army trainee boys were with their two girlfriends. They were out on the away 50 kilometers away from Indore in the night, and many these dacoits you attacked them, and unfortunately one of the girls was gang raped there. So we can see traditional knowledge is good to follow in certain cases. Unless and until it is not very much necessary, we should try to avoid going into the risky areas, especially late in the night. So these are special some small guidance which we can take. And culture, we have already discussed that these smoking and all affects us badly. But in order to see, let us take an example. Singapore has kind of nearly completely banned smoking. And I was reading somewhere that Singapore has been included in the top six. There's a ranking for these nations, which after leaving smoking or controlling smoking to a big extent, have been able to elevate the health and the general happy atmosphere of the country to a very top level. So these are visible effects of staying away from these bad habits. Then the third step we are seeing on the screen is dictation by mind, mood. So sometimes uh, we are just, driven by the moods, whatever our mind communicates to us, and we keep on doing that action. But just one day ago, a research has come along, like in our extra time, many of us keep on just scrolling the screen, watching small videos and reels. But research has proven that you wanted to avoid your boredom by scrolling these small reels. But ultimately, science has proven that the more you keep on getting attached to these binge watching, that is what is precisely called, it will make you bore more. Like the purpose will be defeated. So this process also has certain limitations. And the last one and the most perfect ones amongst all these four is appeal of logic, that is intelligence. So let us take a small example, like you come across a good job advertisement कि आपको बहुत अच्छी नौकरी मिलेगी और बहुत अच्छी सैलरी है, लेकिन जैसा आजकल के कॉल सेंटर जॉब्स में है कि बच्चों को लेट नाइट शिफ्ट्स में अगर वो इंटरनेशनल क्लाइंट्स के साथ इंटरेक्ट कर रहे हैं तो उनको सारी सारी रात भी जागना पड़ता है. So just 2 days ago, there was a very nice article in Times of India which said that the more you stay awake in the night on job and these kind of activities, after some time, you are surely going to see certain bad effects on your body. So sometimes it is necessary because there are certain jobs where, like for safety for the country, our police and army also stay awake. But as far as possible, our youngsters should try to select those jobs where they can lead daily on a, like the working hours should be such that the body does not get badly affected. So in short, we analyze these four main sources of getting guidance in our life. Now, let us come to a fifth source of information. All of you can see the last line on the screen. It says, when universe has all required necessities, then why won't a source of guidance be there? Now, this is something very interesting. All of us need clean air, drinking water, sunlight, food for our necessary sustenance. And somehow or other, this universe has been such intelligently planned that all of these requirements have been amply provided to us. So, doesn't it make common sense that whoever has designed such a beautiful universe with all the facilities must have thought about fulfilling our need for a proper source of guidance also. Let us assume for some part of our lecture from now onwards that such a source exists. And in our further delivery of this lecture, we would be addressing that source itself. That is the Bhagavad Gita. So let us continue to the next slide. Now, a brief introduction about Bhagavad Gita. Most of us are aware that it is a part of Mahabharata. Mahabharata itself is a very long, epic. So it is more than 1 lakh verses, shlokas. So in the Bhishma Parva of Mahabharata, there are 18 chapters comprising 700 shlokas, which are technically called Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita because like Bhagavad means like coming from Bhagavan or God, and Gita is a song. So Srimad is added in order to make it more kind of a superlative degree as we use in English. So because it is very attractive song spoken by God himself. Now, the historical setting we need to keep in mind that nearly 5,000 years ago, in a place called Kurukshetra, right now in Haryana, both the armies, they were big armies. That is why the word Maha was used. The war was such big that all the major nations of the world had participated. And on one side were Kauravas, uh, their leader was Duryodhan, and they were 100 brothers, guided by Guru Dronacharya and Bhishma Pitamaha. Karna also was also there, and many other warriors. And on the other side, Lord Krishna was there, but he had taken a vow that he will not take any weapons in the war. And five Pandava brothers, the elderly, eldest brother was Yudhishthir, as we know. But our hero of Bhagavad Gita is Arjun, who was the best archer in that period. So this dialogue took place on that in that particular setting, and it is very uncommon to see such a kind of philosophical discussion happening on a battlefield. So what happened there was, if you can see the fourth point on the presentation, a formidable warrior like Arjun faces conundrum to fight or not. Now, in the start, uh, Dhritarashtra speaks one verse, Dharam Kshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yuyutsavaha Mamakaha Pandavaschaiva Kim Akurvat Sanjaya. So Dhritarashtra is a blind king, and he asks his assistant Sanjay to tell him that what his sons and the sons of Pandu do after assembling on the battlefield. Now, here from the first verse, we can see that Dhritarashtra was his thinking was contaminated by the bad thought of nepotism, because he was more concerned about his sons. He uses the words Mamakaha for his sons, and for the sons of his brother, he uses the word Pandavaha. So that way we can learn from Dhritarashtra that we should not have this feeling of nepotism, like caring more for our blood relations. And someone has raised hand. Ma'am, you can see, or maybe we can request people to post in the comment box, and ma'am will tell me if there is something urgent to be addressed in the middle of the call itself. So Arjun became confused, and he was, in a dilemma that should he go in fighting mode, but the persons, when he saw with his eyes, on the other side were his own cousin brothers and his dear his dear teacher, Dronacharya, who taught him this art of archery, and his dear father, in that sense, Pitamaha, Bhishma Pitamaha, in whose lap Arjun was brought up. So, and on the other side, Arjun was pressured to fight to uphold the principles of Kshatriya Dharma, because Duryodhan and his brothers had committed atrocities on the Pandavas. They had tried to disrobe Draupadi, their wife, in the big assembly in front of all, and Karna had used bad words for Draupadi in the assembly. So Arjun was not able to take a call, should he fight or should he renounce. So at that time, he expressed his confusion to Lord Krishna, and then Lord Krishna did something amazing. He turned the battlefield into a classroom. This is very uncommon to see, but we can see on the screen, Lord Krishna turned battlefield into a classroom. Now, just now we went through the historical aspect of understanding the Bhagavad Gita. Now, for us, because we are not, in that same situation as Arjun, we have not been forced to take a bow and arrow, or let's say a revolver, and shoot our own family members. Our situation is not so drastic. So all of us might be having a doubt in their minds that how does Bhagavad Gita setting apply to us? तो यहाँ पर अब हमें समझना पड़ेगा कि जो गीता की मेटाफोरिकल अंडरस्टैंडिंग है, जो हमारे लिए इंपॉर्टेंट है. मेटाफोरिकल मीन्स कि जो परेशानियां अर्जुन ने फेस करी, क्या उससे मिलती जुलती हमारे जीवन में कुछ समस्याएं आ सकती हैं, और अगर आ सकती हैं तो उनका हल भगवत गीता से हमें कैसे मिल सकता है? सो perplexities we encounter might differ from those of Arjun's, but solutions are common. So that is the reason Bhagavad Gita has stayed relevant throughout the world, even after so many years. And all of us know that so many big politicians, sportsmen, and film stars, and great personalities, scientists also have been taking help of Bhagavad Gita in guidance for their own lives. Just in the recently concluded Olympics, we saw our Indian shooter, Manu Bhakar, when she was interviewed by the media, that what motivated her or kept her, uh, enabled to clinch the bronze medal twice. So after winning the first bronze medal, she had publicly said that she takes regular guidance from Bhagavad Gita, especially from the shlok Karmanyavadikaraste, which we will understand after some time in our session today itself. Now, in order to help all of you, once this class will be over and all of you will be in your regular schedules, because I have been told that most of the students here are from the pressure category. Congratulations to all of them for securing good marks in their board exams and qualifying for these two very well-known and well-established esteemed colleges, Deshbandhu College from Delhi University and Pettigrew College from Manipur University. So congratulations to all the students here who are listening. So once you will start in your daily matters, your fresh studies, completing the syllabus, and competing for the exams, participating in sports activities and all. So since you might forget that what did you learn from this Bhagavad Gita class, तो आप सबकी आसानी के लिए मैंने इस विजडम वर्ड, जो ये विजडम आज की हमारी टॉपिक में ही है, उसके वर्ड्स को, उसके एक एक्रोनिम्स को हमने यहाँ पर आपके लिए स्क्रीन पे सिंपल सिंपल एक्सप्लेन किया है। और अभी हम अगले 10 मिनट में कोशिश करेंगे कि वी विल ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड ईच एंड एवरी वर्ड. सो इवन इफ यू फॉरगेट एवरीथिंग अबाउट दिस क्लास आफ्टर 2-3 days or 2-3 months, so you can try to recall in your mind that I had given you this shortcut. जैसे आपके पास एग्जाम्स में कभी कभी हम लोग अपनी भाषा में कहते हैं कुंजी या एक की होती है कि एग्जाम्स के टफ क्वेश्चंस को इजीली ट्रैक करने के लिए, तो ऐसी भगवत गीता जैसे कॉम्प्लिकेटेड टॉपिक को आप इस एक्रोनिम विजडम के थ्रू आप आगे याद रख सकते हैं. सो लेट अस बिगिन बाय द फर्स्ट अल्फाबेट, दैट इज डब्ल्यू. So W, you can see on screen, it says wander not. Now wander means basically getting disoriented or distracted from one's own mission. Like in historical setting, we saw that Arjun was supposed to participate in the war wholeheartedly. The announcement for the start of the war had already been done on Kurukshetra battlefield, but at that particular critical moment, Arjun surrendered and he did not want to fight and kept his bow aside. So in our lives also, sometimes these situations can come when indecision or overthinking, there is a term in English which says paralysis by overanalysis. So Arjun, in the first chapter, if you will read Bhagavad Gita, you will see that Arjun was getting paralytic because he was being overanalytic. So sometimes in our lives also we face these situations कि हम बहुत ज्यादा सोचते हैं और ज्यादा सोचने से भी कई बार एक्शन से हम डिविएट हो जाते हैं, और कई बार हम इनडेसिसिव मोड में होते हैं कि मान लीजिए 2 जॉब ऑफर्स आ गई, कौन सी चूज करनी है, पढ़ाई के लिए इंडिया में रहना है या बाहर जाना है, स्पोर्ट्स को किस स्टेज तक फॉलो करना है क्योंकि उससे अगर पढ़ाई के लिए समय नहीं मिल पा रहा, कितना टाइम सोशल मीडिया पे बिताना है, कितना दोस्तों के साथ इंटरेक्शंस करनी है, कितनी नहीं करनी है. तो ये सारी जो चीजें हैं ये हमारे जीवन में भी डेली बेसिस पे होती हैं, और इसीलिए अर्जुन हमारे लिए एक तरह से वो रोल प्ले कर रहे हैं इस समय महाभारत की लड़ाई में. एंड ही यू इन द इफ यू विल रेफर द श्लोका चैप्टर 1 30th verse 1.30, there you will see the Sanskrit words. He says Brahmativa cha me manah. So he acknowledges to Lord Krishna that his mind, Brahmativa cha me manah, O Lord, my mind is, rotating very fast, and it is not going to help me stay stable on the battlefield. So from the word W, we understood that we should not keep on wandering aimlessly in our lives. At some stage, we have to choose a path and progress. Like all of you must have taken this decision in your 11th class. I don't know about Manipur, but in this North India, Delhi area, we have this choice of subjects once you finish your 10th class. And even in your graduation, you have to choose a field, like you want to become a doctor by taking medicine line, or you want to become a electrical engineer or a computer engineer, then you go into the non-medicals. And if you want to become a CA or an MBA, then you have chosen the commerce field. So choices have to be made. So similarly here, we learned that we should not just keep on being indecisive, and we must take a call, just like Arjun finally did. Now, in the second alphabet, the word visible on your screen is I. Now, I can have multiple, references here. So the first one is inquire, and then with intelligence. And the third, I could relate to identity. So I will explain a little bit all the three words here. So inquire means, like, just like you have, these career counselors. So when you want to choose a particular stream for your life, so you approach a career counselor and request them to guide you. They do a psychometric test, and they assess your personality, that what are the good traits you have and what are your weaknesses, and they guide you. Like you might be taking help from teachers in your colleges also. So inquiry is a sign which human beings, exhibit. Why human beings are able to inquire? That because nature has endowed us with intelligence. Now, what is intelligence? If we would be looking for a definition for intelligence in simple words, so intelligence is the ability to understand what to do or what not to do at a particular moment. So that way, whenever we inquire what is the best for our life, so we use our intelligence to understand the answers given to us. And then I use the third word, I, for identity. Now, Bhagavad Gita, when you will go in depth, right from the second chapter, when Arjun is perplexed that whether he would be incurring sin by killing his grandfather and his teacher and his brothers. So Lord Krishna immediately gave him the sublime knowledge of a entire matter. We are all accustomed to understanding matter, like physical matter. Our body is made of physical matter, but Lord Krishna gave him some knowledge which is not related to matter. It is related to entire matter. What is that entire matter? That the proof of that entire matter is the consciousness. All of us have been changing our bodies. Medical science also says every 7 years, all the billions and trillions of cells of our body get replaced. But when you see a photograph of yours in your album, let's say 7 years ago, and today you see your photograph, your body must have changed. But you don't feel that you are a different person. The inside feeling we have, the realization that there is something inside the body with which you are able to identify yourself, stays the same. So this is proof that inside our body there is something called consciousness. In scientific terms, we call it consciousness. In Hindi, we call it Chetana. So science has not been able to understand yet that what is the source of this consciousness. Earlier, the scientific community used to discard it. They didn't give it much importance. But for the past few years, after the advent of quantum mechanics and other studies in the psychiatry and psychology fields, gradually and gradually, many scientists in the world have started to acknowledge the presence of something which is, kind of beyond the, which seems to be beyond the outcome of just chemical reactions, which they earlier used to believe. So our Shastras, Vedas, and scriptures have already been talking, and in Bhagavad Gita, in Lord Krishna brings this topic in the second chapter itself, when he tells Arjun that Dehino asmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantar praptir dhiras tatra namuhyati. He tells Arjun that just like in this body you have been changing different bodies, but try to understand it is like a change of clothes. So once you change your clothes, you went to a playground, got your clothes dirty, came to your home and changed your clothes. But you as a person don't change. You have changed as your clothes. Similarly, Lord uses this example to make Arjun understand these bodies are temporary, but the consciousness inside, the soul, in Hindi, the word is Atma, that doesn't get destroyed even when death occurs. So we covered these three I's. So for the shlok, which is, I am trying to give one shlok for all these alphabets. So for the first word W, I quoted 1.30, and for I, there is a particular shlok which you all can refer. It's a very important verse in the Bhagavad Gita. In fact, the whole Bhagavad Gita is an answer to that thought expressed by Arjun in that particular verse. That is 2.7, chapter 2, seventh verse. Karparnya dosho upahat swabhava prachami tvam dharma samud cheta. So these words dharma samud cheta signify his query that Arjun says, I am confused in what is my real duty. So पृच्छामि त्वां धर्म सम्मूढ़ चेतः यत् श्रेयं स्यात् निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेहं शाधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम. So he just few minutes ago Lord Krishna was his friend, but once Arjun understood that by applying all my logics and counter arguments, that why should not I fight, I am getting more and more confused. I am not able to solve the dilemma of my life. So let me take shelter of my own friend and he will be able to guide me. So this brings us to the third alphabet we have here. Seek a mentor. S. Seek a mentor. Search for a teacher, an expert who can guide you in getting answers to the questions we have in our life. जिस तरह से हम अपनी नॉर्मल पढ़ाई के लिए भी बिना टीचर के हम बिल्कुल भी आगे नहीं बढ़ सकते. अभी कुछ दिन पहले ही हमने 5 सितंबर को टीचर्स डे मनाया. तो ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि हम सिर्फ एक दिन में टीचर्स को रिस्पेक्ट दे रहे हैं. If you will analyze your life, there is not a single day wherein we will be able to lead our lives successfully without following the teachings of our seniors. Not teachers, our parents are also our teachers. Our elder brothers, sisters can also be our teachers. Our friends can also be our teachers. Books can play the role of teachers. Today in the digital world, YouTube and all this internet also plays the role of a teacher. So we must acknowledge that without guidance from a teacher, you will not be able to tie even your shoelace, what to talk about being a PhD. So Arjun understands the role of a mentor, and here the verse which signifies his surrender in front of a teacher is 4.34, a very famous verse from Bhagavad Gita which stresses upon the need for a teacher in life. Tad vidhi pranipatena परिप्रश्नेन सेवया upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshanah. So Lord Krishna tells Arjun that you must seek a teacher, convey your obeisances to him, pranam to him or her, and serve him or her, with respect, and ask questions, but not in a challenging way. Our whole Vedic system encourages asking questions. Nobody stops one from asking questions, but there are two ways of asking questions. One is I raise my hand in the class and I challenge the teacher directly. Oh, ma'am, oh, sir, what do you know about this topic? You don't know anything. I know better, and you are not qualified to teach me. I know everything. So this is one attitude. And second is one can humbly raise a hand and request the teacher, like, ma'am, sir, I have not been able to understand what you taught recently. Kindly explain to it me again, or you might be having a particular question. So that is the proper way. So Lord Krishna teaches him the proper way to approach a teacher. So we should always throughout our lives remember this important thought, because till the end of our lives, role of teacher will always be there. Whether it's a doctor, even when we are in a hospital lying on a in a ICU. So even then we don't know like how much medicine we need. So doctors then play the role of a teacher. They teach you how to take care of the body. So then this brings us to the next alphabet, D. D has multiple again words. So I have chosen duty as detached action. Now, this brings us to a very interesting aspect in the Bhagavad Gita. All of you must have heard about this most famous slok, Karmanyeva Dikaraste Ma Phaleshu Kadachana Ma Karma Phal Hetur Bhu Ma Te Sangahastu Akarmani. So, now this was, people get confused. If you will just ask your friends, relatives, the meaning of this verse, or if you will just generally ask that what does Bhagavad Gita teach all of us, most of the people will say कि गीता कहती है कर्म करो, फल की चिंता ना करो, just do your action and don't worry about the result. So this is a very basic understanding, but what Lord is saying is that you should not stay away from defining goals. Many times when I go to the corporate world, just few days ago, we had a very big session for HDFC Bank's corporate wing. So there the question answers came, and this question is generally asked everywhere, wherever I go in the corporate section, especially in, CA firms or business firms or banks. So students or young people ask, sir, Gita says don't be attached to the result. But if we are not attached to the result, what will motivate us to work? So, no, why should we study hard? Why should we stay awake in the night just to pass exam with with good marks? So, doesn't Gita demotivate us from the purpose of our life? No. So, this is an incorrect understanding of this slok. What Lord is saying is, Karmanyev adhikaraste, you have a right to your action. So nobody is stopping you, right? He's not saying that don't do work. We have to do our work. But he says, Ma phaleshu kadachana. So the topic here is not doing karma. The topic is on which you have right, adhikar. So this feeling of adhikar or owning the result of your action binds us to the material thinking processes, which does not allow us to, wholeheartedly advance in our life. So Lord is saying, do your duty, but don't get attached to the result of the work. Don't feel yourself doer. So karmanyevadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phal hetur bhu. Don't think that you were the sole cause of the result. So sometimes we have seen in film stars also, or in many sports also, once you accomplish something, then you start thinking that, oh, मेरी तो फिल्म ने 1,000 करोड़ रुपए कमा लिए, मैं सबसे बड़ा हीरो हो गया, बड़े सबसे फेमस हीरोइन हो गई. But after some time, you start behaving badly with people. You don't come to the shooting time on time, and you develop some bad habits. We have seen many stories from Hollywood where many big stars who were famous in their times committed suicides by taking overdoses of drugs. What was lacking in their life? They had fame, they had money, they had everything, they had beauty, but what destroyed them? So this sometimes this factor which we are discussing right now, understanding oneself to be the sole cause of one's success in life, or on the negative side, sole cause of failure in life, because of which people commit suicides. And many corporate houses, CEOs also, we sometimes see that they become very much disappointed once their company does not perform well, and then we hear about them taking drastic actions. So both ways it works. So Lord is giving us a safety clause here in this shlok, that don't think yourself to be the doer of the result, the sole cause of the result. And lastly, he knows that people will take misunderstanding of this verse, and people might stop working at all. So in the last section of this particular verse, he says, Mate sangahastu akarmani. So in Sanskrit, the word here is Mate sangahastu akarmani. Akarmani means being not doing any work. So he is warning all of us that do not get attached to not doing your duty because of being, alsi, what do you call it, apathetic or unconcerned. No, this is not the mood Lord is wanting. So there is more to understand, but to keep things short, let us try to understand that we have to do our duty, whatever duties have been assigned to us. If we are young boys and girls, then we have to respect our parents. We have to help them in our daily duties of households. Then once we come to the academic institutions, we have to make discipline, we have to respect our teachers, we have to maintain a congenial atmosphere, and we should not be bullying our young students. And now all of us know that government of India has banned ragging and all these bad practices in colleges. So that way we should be cautious and do our actions with a detached frame of mind. Detached means that we should not be so much attached to the result of the action. If we will study properly, result will automatically come good. So let us not be too much concerned that what kind of results are we going to get. Then moving forward, we have used the word O as objective of life. Now, this is something important for all of you, because if I will be, let's say, asking you, okay, what is the goal of your life? What is the objective of your life? I'm sure most of you will be saying, sir, I want to be an IS officer. Some will say we want to be doctors. Some will say we want to be top computer scientists. Some will say we want to have our own companies. We will be heading businesses. Some will say we want to be good sportsmen. So that way you will give me different answers. But let us try to stop our mind for a minute and try to understand whatever achievements just now we discussed, are they really your objectives of life? Are they really goals of life? These can be short-term goals. See, in English, we have different two terms, very beautiful terms. Try to listen to it properly. It's one is your functional identity, and one is your foundational identity. Now, the identity word is common in both the terms. So, what is your functional identity? Functional identity means that at a particular stage of your life, you are leading a role. Okay. Now, just few years ago, you must have been worried about your 10th class boards exam. Then you qualified in that. Then the next goal came 12th class board exams. You qualified in them. Now you have got entry into colleges. You will complete your graduation. And depending on your graduation marks and competitive exams, your next goal of life will come, whether you are going to appear for CAT exam or NEET or whatever these competitive exams are there. So you will analyze that as you are progressing in your life, these goals are continuously changing. So the goal which you had just 2 years ago is not present today. The goal which you will be having after 3 years will also be different. So these are not your foundational identities. These are your functional identities. So life, in order to lead a successful life, in order to become really successful, once we will be leaving this word at the end, you will not just be contented by being a doctor or an engineer or what. At that time, what will come across in our feelings and thought processes, like what kind did you lead a happy life? Were you able to bring happiness in the lives of your near and dear ones? And do your relatives and friends and business accomplices and your colleagues, do they have a positive feeling about you? So in all these four emotional states, does any point refer to your being a doctor or an engineer or a politician? No. So let us try to be clear that there is a role of being functionally successful, but a much important role is played by our foundational identity. Now, what is this foundational identity that Bhagavad Gita talks about in the depth of its teachings? As I told you in the beginning, this class is not supposed to be, very depth oriented, because it might confuse. You are all freshers and at young age of your lives. So gradually and gradually, I want you to introduce you to this beautiful collection of sublime thoughts in the form of this 700 verse Bhagavad Gita. But in order for us to enter into the much deeper levels of this, we might be addressing these aspects in our coming sessions. So objective of life will lead you to the final alphabet, that is the metaphysical or manual of life. Now let us try to understand what is metaphysical. Now we are just approaching the end of our seminar. See, metaphysical word means कि something which is beyond the physical boundages of this world. So something related to, let's say, the questions about the real existence. Why are we existing? Where have we come from? Where will we go? And is there something beyond whatever we are seeing with our these naked eyes? So this denotes metaphysical. So once you are clear from the O section, and I would also, as I promised earlier, that I will be giving you a reference for all the these acronyms. So for O, objective of life, Bhagavad Gita, verse 46, chapter 6, 6.46, there Lord Krishna tells Arjun to aim for being a yogi. So he says in Sanskrit, Yogi Bhav Arjuna, become a yogi, O Arjun. So that verse you can refer on your own, and you will be able to understand that what is the meaning of a yogi. So broadly, yogi basically means connecting yourself to the supreme. So that is the transcendental understanding of the word yog. Yog means connecting. So Lord Krishna says connect with the supreme source of the word. So that verse you can refer on your own. And whenever, you know, in the O, there is also an interesting part. I would like to cover it. I forgot to mention it here. So when you want to define the clear objective of your life, then you will have to face one situation. Objections will come. हमारा मन हमें doubts देगा, तरह तरह से रोकेगा. आप सोचोगे आईएएस बनना चाहता हूं या चाहती हूं, लेकिन मन आपको डाउट करता है ना. मन आपको रोकता है कि नहीं नहीं, आप तो आईएएस तो बहुत टफ एग्जाम है, नहीं बन सकते हो, आप कोई थोड़ा लोअर चीज देख लो अपने लाइफ के लिए. सो ये जो ऑब्जेक्शंस को ओवर रूल करने की आर्ट हमें सीखनी पड़ेगी. उसमें दो चीजें रोल प्ले करती हैं. नो दिस इज समथिंग इंटरेस्टिंग. सो यू हैव टू फीलिंग्स इनसाइड यू. वन इज फेथ एंड सेकंड इज फियर. सो कभी कभी जैसे हम कार चलाते हैं, सो व्हेन फियर इज एक्सेलरेटिंग, फियर इज ओवरपावरिंग यू, then we should understand the art of applying brake by using faith. So whenever fear is overpowering you by accelerating, so you have to put a brake on this high acceleration by using the power of faith. And sometimes when you see that brake of fear is very strong, fear is stopping you, then try to increase acceleration by having faith. So this is a very interesting example you will be able to recall after the class also. That is why I use it. Now, coming back to this metaphysical explanation, and so metaphysical we understood. Now, in order to understand the metaphysical aspect of our life, as I said earlier, Bhagavad Gita's depths will have to be explored, which is not the context of today's introductory session, but we can talk a little bit about being manual of life. How does Bhagavad Gita fit in the role of being a manual of life? So for this, you can see the shloka, chapter 16, 1-6, and verse number 24, where a beautiful shloka is there, which is proving the authenticity and the requirement of referring scriptures in our life for guidance. So tasmacha shastram pramanam te. There Lord Krishna is saying, when we began this class, I told you that God might have provided something for us to refer for getting guidance in our life, when he has provided us everything, water, food and light. So here, what is the proof of that reference? This is verse number 24 of chapter 16, where Gita says that an intelligent person should refer to a shastra, a scripture. All the major religions of the world have a particular guiding book for guidance in life. So now coming to the last section of our class, I hope we should be able to conclude within just next 5 to 10 minutes. So as sir in the initial part also referred to this shloka, I was very happy to see the choice of this shloka by the organizers. Very beautiful verse. And in fact, we can keep on talking about just on this verse, chapter 6, verse number 5. Beautiful verse. Udharet atmana atmanam na atmanam avasadayet atmaiva hi atmano bandhur atmaiva ripur atmanah. Now see the beauty of the Sanskrit also here. Sometimes many people say that we keep on reading Bhagavad Gita, but we are not able to understand, because actually Sanskrit language, at many times we see a same word has different meaning. So how will you come to know? Because here the first word Atmana is different, then Atmani is again different, then again Atmana is coming, again Atmani. So many times this word is being repeated, but in order to understand the context to what it is referring, you will need the help of an expert in Bhagavad Gita. So let us read the English translation. It says, one must deliver self. Now here self means your own self, that the consciousness which we were talking about, who we are really. So one must deliver self with the help of his or mind. Now this Atmana, the second one, is referring to the mind. So you have to understand the first Atmana word is for our inside self. The second is for mind. Now here mind is being used as a tool. It is a faculty to help us. Okay. So we have to identify ourselves different from the mind. So, and not degrade self. The mind is the friend of the conditioned soul and his or her enemy as well. So very interesting topic. So in order to help you all understand it properly, I chose these 4 quotes from one of my senior. So let us try to understand and read one by one. First one is, destiny might have decided complexion of our face, but let us define the expression on our face. Now youths are very much conscious of their looks, and everybody wants to look beautiful, and that is why the whole makeup industry is booming worldwide. It has been going on like this for the past so many years. But let us try to stop for a minute. When a person really becomes successful, he or she might be a very big scientist or a doctor or a politician. So do looks really matter that time? So whichever way a successful person is looking, so in his or her success, we don't see role of beauty so much, except the film industry and the modeling line. So their looks are important, I acknowledge. So the word here is saying, very beautiful line, destiny might have decided complexion of our face. So if our parents had dark complexions, we might be coming up with dark bodies. And if our parents were fair, we might be coming up with fair complexions. So that is beyond our control. But what is in our control? Let us define the expression on our face. तो फेस का कलर तो हम नहीं कंट्रोल कर सकते, ऑफ कोर्स उसके लिए भी हम क्रीम्स लगा सकते हैं थोड़ी सी, लेकिन यहाँ पर हम अपने फेस पे जो अगर अंदर की सुंदरता है, हमारे जीवन के जो अंदर का सौंदर्य है, द इनर ब्यूटी, अगर हम उस पर काम करें, तो शरीर भले सुंदर ना भी हो, तब भी हम अपने फेस पे वो एक एक्सप्रेशन ला सकते हैं बड़ा सुंदर. तो इसके साथ एक जुड़ी हुई एक लाइन मैंने और लिखी, लुक्स आर ओनली दैट मच मच एज वी गिव इट इम्पोर्टेंस. तो जितना आप लुक्स को इंपॉर्टेंस देंगे, बस वो उतने ही इंपॉर्टेंट है. जिस दिन आप लुक्स के ऊपर इंपॉर्टेंस देने के लिए उससे अनकंसर्न हो जाएंगे, आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि हम अपना ध्यान न रखें, वी हैव टू ड्रेस अप स्मार्टली एंड position ourselves as beautiful as we can, but that should not be the sole criteria. Now the second line here we are seeing, it's a beautiful composition. See, there are very 3 tough works which mind plays games with us. So first one is, mind does deception. Because this, why are we discussing this? Because this shloka in 6.5 has reference to the role of mind. So that is why I have compiled these beautiful lines for you. Mind does deception by diverting. तो mind क्या करता है? धोखा देता है. इन चीजों में बड़ा एक्सपर्ट है. जब पढ़ाई का टाइम आता है, तो अगर दोस्त बुलाने आ गए कि बाहर खेलने चलो, तो उस समय मन कहेगा चलो थोड़ी देर खेल लेते हैं, पढ़ाई बाद में कर लेंगे, अभी तो पूरी रात पड़ी है. जब रात का टाइम आएगा, उस समय टीवी पे कोई अच्छा सीरियल आ रहा है या नेटफ्लिक्स पे कोई अच्छी मूवी देखने बैठ गए, अच्छा कोई बात नहीं, रात के 12 बजे तक देख लेते हैं, फिर पढ़ लेंगे. फिर 12 बजे आई, अब उस समय थोड़ा सा भूख लग रही है, कुछ खा लिया, थोड़ी देर के बाद पढ़ लेंगे. अब खा लिया तो उसके बाद नींद आनी, देन वी स्टार्ट फीलिंग स्लीपी एंड द टाइम ऑफ नाइट गोज एंड वी गेट बैड मार्क्स इन एग्जाम. So this is the trick the mind plays. Or once the mind succeeds in decepting these ways, so the second role then mind plays is destruction of confidence. तो वही मन जो अभी आपको थोड़ी देर पहले उकसा रहा था कि अच्छा अच्छा कर लो ये काम कर लो, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, पढ़ाई बाद में कर लेंगे, एंड वंस यू गेट बैड मार्क्स इन एग्जाम, यही मन फिर आपको डांट लगाता है कि तुम कितने मूर्ख हो, यू आर सो फूलिश, दैट व्हाई डिड नॉट यू स्टडी प्रॉपरली. सो द सेम माइंड earlier was diverting our attention, and once we have failed, then the same mind is affecting us by putting our confidence down. It is pulling us down. So destruction of confidence, it is very smart at doing. And the third one is, जब वो ये दोनों काम करने में successful होता है मन हमारा, तो third bad role it plays is then it completely dominates our personality. So how does it dominate? It tends to brand us in a particular mode of thinking कि नो यू आर अ फेलियर, तुम तो कुछ भी नहीं कर सकते जिंदगी में, और या फिर वो कई बार घमंडी भी बना देता है मन हमारे को. तो इसी वजह से एक बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक, जो एक थोड़ा सा सेंसिटिव विषय है, ऑल ऑफ अस आर वेरी सैड, feel very sad when we come across daily reports in newspapers and media that any student has committed suicide. See, suicide is not the answer. Abhi to main, I am not going into the transcendental aspect of our life. Just try to understand, what does suicide bring to your life? If I am giving you just small hint, there have been multiple case histories throughout the world, where many very successful people were utter failures, big failures in their initial stages of life. So many stories are there, many American presidents, many military generals, many sportsmen, many film stars, and what not, people from all walks of life. There are multiple examples to prove that people have failed in their lives earlier, but they did not give up. The only thing is, if you will not give much importance to your mind, which is bringing depressing thoughts inside you, just ignore it. उस समय आपका माइंड जब आपको तंग कर रहा है ना, डिप्रेस कर रहा है, भले आपको कोई पिक्चर देखनी है आप देख लो, आप घर के बाहर खेलने चले जाओ, आप सी द गेम्स इट प्लेज विद यू, यू प्ले अ गेम विद माइंड. जब भी आपको लगे ना आप डाउन हो, आप कुछ भी करो, आपको नूडल्स खाने का मन है, आप उस समय नूडल्स खा लो, जो मर्जी आपको करना है, मतलब गंदे काम नहीं करने हैं, लेकिन जो भी अच्छे काम है, गुड डीड्स हैं जिनसे किसी का नुकसान नहीं होता, अपनी अटेंशन को डाइवर्ट कर दो. बस वो सुसाइडल थॉट्स ना थोड़ी देर के लिए कई बार आते हैं, उस समय वो ओवर पावर कर देते हैं. सो वी शुड बी स्मार्ट एनफ that whenever these suicidal tendencies are coming inside our mind, either we should open our heart to our friends, our parents. See, parents will never misguide you, your close friends will never misguide you, your teachers, अपनी teachers के साथ become friends and try to take guidance, confide in them that whatever problem you are facing, अगर आपको पढ़ाई में कुछ चीजें नहीं समझ में आ रही, तो teachers never refuse a sincere question. That will be a very rarely a case when a teacher is not cooperating with the student. Most of the teachers worldwide cooperate in order to help a student accomplish better in studies. So we should never be concerned with the dominant role the bad mind plays. And if you want to get more clarity on this topic, I am recommending Shlok Sankhya 62 and 63 of chapter 2. Very beautiful verses. Even if you don't have any faith in Bhagavad Gita, just read these two shlokas, chapter 2, verse number 62 and verse number 63. You will understand and you will gain some understanding that why a person commits crime. So just like in Kolkata, a very bad case has recently happened, which has upset all the nation gentry, currently, the rape of and murder of a doctor there. So if you will read these two shlokas, you will understand that what goes inside the psychology of a bad person and why do people commit such bad crimes. And once we will read this, we will also be cautious of ourselves that we should not fall into that trap, that bad mentality which the mind sometimes brings us to. And let us try to come to the next point. To accomplish the training of mind successfully, stop taking whatever it says seriously. So mind is a tool. So it can play a good role, it can play a bad role. It is like a knife. So with knife, you can harm someone or you can cut fruits and make your body healthy. So just like a knife has dual uses, Similarly, this mind has dual use. Either it can be your friend or it can be your enemy. So Bhagavad Gita teaches us the art of turning a bad mind into a friendly mind. So for this, you will have to read the Bhagavad Gita, and gradually you will understand how Gita is giving guidance to control and what are the processes. See, there are certain processes which Gita recommends. So like meditation and yoga and many other things Gita is talking about. So these you can discuss in the later classes. Then coming to the last part, for stability of emotion, turn to eternal from external. So all of you must have heard about three important terms: IQ, EQ, and SQ. See, good IQ, intelligence quotients will bring you to a good job. Okay, good college, good job, you can get by good IQ. But in order to stay relevant in that job atmosphere and not get upset by daily office politics and all, you will need to develop good EQ. What is EQ? Emotional quotient. So in order to have a mastery on emotions, Bhagavad Gita teaches very beautifully. There are many verses which we will come across in Bhagavad Gita, like Samah Sukha Dikheshu, like stay calm in praise and condemnation both. So these kind of dual aspects of life Bhagavad Gita handles very perfectly. And what the next line says is, in order to be stable in emotions, turn to eternal from external. Right now our focus is on the external world. We should try to bring our focus to the internal thinking processes, and for that Bhagavad Gita is a very good tool. So currently throughout the world there is a very big talk about mindfulness. Everybody is talking about being a good either practitioner of mindfulness or a teacher of mindfulness. So don't think that Bhagavad Gita does not have anything related to mindfulness. See, what is mindfulness? Being aware of the moment, the current moment. So once you will understand your body parts and all the faculties, even in the inner level, like Bhagavad Gita clearly talks about man, buddhi, ahankar, chitta. So in English, you will say man is mind, buddhi is intelligence, ahankar is your ego, and chitta is chit ke liye in, we don't have a proper word in English for chitta. So chitta is a place inside your heart, deep of your heart, where all these emotions reside. That is called chitta. So this the all the emotions get accumulated there, and that is the storehouse. So mindfulness is very beautifully taught in the Bhagavad Gita also. And now I hope I was able to address whatever little bit I could do for all of you. If I have committed some mistake in speaking, I express my apologies and kindly correct me. My contact details are here on the screen. My email ID is geetaofkrishna@gmail.com. Geeta में GITA, Geeta of Krishna @gmail.com. This is an easy email ID to remember. And I have a small YouTube channel. I don't advertise it much, but since I was requested to talk about little bit about that also. So when I conducted classes, there are more than 90 lectures on this channel. So these were given mostly keeping the youth in mind. So if you will go across some of my classes, there is a particular section of crash course also. If you don't have the time to go through all the classes, then you can refer to my crash course lessons, where in one single class, I have covered the whole chapter itself. So thank you all for listening attentively. And once again, I thank the organizers who did a brilliant job in bringing it up, and all of us got an opportunity. I got an opportunity to revive my thought process and my recollections about the Bhagavad Gita, and you all people also got benefited. So that way I am now stopping the sharing of my screen, and I am handing over the command to controllers of the class, so they can maybe guide the session further. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. We can't tell you in words basically how exciting it was to hear you speak on the Bhagavad Gita. Actually, I never knew that the word wisdom can be expanded in such a beautiful manner. And now it seems that the word wisdom seems more wise somehow. Your expertise was apparent to all, and our attendees, including myself, were thrilled to have this chance to learn from you. Sir, as you know, our students and even we ourselves are striving to become better versions of ourselves day by day. Speeches like yours will push us to propel ourselves to the next level. We know that it's not very easy to tailor your speeches so they basically strike a chord with everyone, but you managed to do it, and we sincerely appreciate it.
Thank
Sir,
you.
now I'm taking few questions and comments from our chat box. The first question is from Sushil Bharadwaj. He's asking, finding guru is hard for me, and there is always me at the end of finding solution. Can you guide me how to find one?
Yeah. What was the name of gentleman who asked question?
He's Sushil
Sushil.
Bharadwaj.
Yeah. Yeah. Hello, Sushil ji. Actually, it's a very interesting question you asked. Just like when we take our kids to admission process and we conduct our best research in order to go for a proper school. We try to understand whether the school is affiliated with a government recognized board, even same for the colleges also. And teachers, the government system has a qualifying criteria, like the teachers must be having B.Ed or these kind of degrees and or doctorates for the higher levels. Similarly, the spiritual knowledge, which is much, much more subtle and beyond the reach of our limited senses. So, the originator of these spiritual sciences has made a very good system. So, once you will go deeper into the Shastras, so there are particular some shlokas available in the Puranas where a hint has been given that from where one can get authentic uh, knowledge of this kind, the scriptural kind. So there, and in our Upanishads also, in Upanishads, there are certain beautiful verses which describe the qualities of a guru, like Shrotriyam Brahmanishtham. So I'm just narrating two here. One is the word is Shrotriyam. So the guru must have been able to acquire knowledge by listening to his guru. Now, this knowledge, this Vedic knowledge, cannot be comprehended or generated by our own efforts. So it comes through the path of descension. It descends to this world. So that way, guru for the word for guru, the one qualification is Shrotriyam. He must have listened this Shruti knowledge from his preceptors. And the second qualification mentioned is Brahmanishtham. So he should have some realization of Brahma, of the absolute truth. So these are just two which I mentioned. So the best way is one should pray sincerely. Whoever is your Ishtadev or in whichever superior power you believe in, so try to pray sincerely that, oh, guiding, source, kindly help me search for a sincere guru. I should not get a cheater. I should get a proper teacher. So the system is the cosmic intelligence will play its role and bring you in contact with a proper guru at some stage or the other, but you need to stay patient and pray sincerely. I hope I was able to address your question to certain extent, Sushil.
Thank you, sir. Namita Gandhi ma'am is saying that the lecture was very inspiring for the students. Mahesh Chandra sir is saying that it was very knowledgeable.
Thank you.
Few direct messages are also coming. Varsha Baveja ma'am is saying that to become successful in the desired field, determination is to do something should be very strong, and it was very enriching session. So apart from this, there is a question from Gaurashri Purohit. She's asking that how can one effectively train their mind to work as an aid through tumultuous tribulations of life and avoid temptations for good? Any advices?
Yeah, beautiful question, Gaurashri ji. It shows you were attentive. And as I mentioned, both of these words in the start itself, tribulations and temptations. So, see, let us first take temptations. See, temptations are one thing which will stay with us throughout our life. Nobody can say that he or she will be free from temptations. This is the designing, you can say the intrinsic aspect inbuilt into the whole system, that like females will have attractions to males, males will have attraction to females, then we will have temptations to eat good food and wear good clothes, go to good places and all. So what Bhagavad Gita says is that we should be such that we should be able to enjoy whatever sources of enjoyment are there in the world, but in a regulated way. Bhagavad Gita does not, discourage enjoyment at all. The proper shloka in the Bhagavad Gita is Yukt Ahar Viharasya. So, Lord is saying Yukt Ahar, eat, but eat in control. All of us know that eating one burger will give you some good satisfaction. Eating the second one will also satisfy you, but to certain less extent. But eating a third or a fourth one will become negative. So the world has been designed like this, that whatever sources of enjoyment are there, we should use them, we should enjoy them, but in a controlled way. So Gita uses the word yukt ahar. So be moderate. And in vihar, what does vihar means? It means recreation. So whatever recreational activities we indulge in, let's say watching movies. No, one movie, two movies, fine. But if a person is continuously watching movies, then when will he sleep? And if a person is not able to sleep properly, then ultimately eyesight will become weak and body will stop functioning properly, and your work in the office or school or college will also get badly affected. So this is something where we need to keep on regularly taking guidance from guiding sources like Bhagavad Gita, or there are other motivational speakers like Robin Sharma says that one should be a member of the 5 a.m. club. So that means try to get up early in the morning, and then you will have a regulated day throughout. And coming to your tribulations part, so tribulations are definitely very tough to handle, and sometimes we come across instances where in our family or friends some tragedy occurs and some person loses the word at an early stage, and we get devastated by that loss. So loss is going to be there. When Abhimanyu was killed on the field of Mahabharat by warriors in a bad way, like not a proper authorized way, and when Arjun came to know about it, though Arjun had heard Bhagavad Gita in the start of the war, but still Arjun was very much, feeling bad, and he started crying. But then Arjun remembered the process, the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, reconciled himself, and took revenge of his killing. So tribulations will be there in everybody's life at one stage or the other. So that is the art we need to master. So when I mentioned that identity aspect, so gradually, once you will start doing meditation and taking help of these sources like Bhagavad Gita, gradually you will get inner strength to face these tribulations. I will give you a small example. Nowadays, the rainy season is going on. When I was looking through the some information about your Pettigrew College in Manipur. So I was reading the temperatures available there, and it was showing that it was raining there also. Here also it is raining. So there are two persons, both are in rain. One is without umbrella and the second has umbrella. So similarly, we need to understand tribulations are like rains. Every one of us will face tribulations at some stage of our life, but a person with knowledge is like a person with umbrella. So he is in rain, but rain is not harming him or her. Similarly, in tribulations, we cannot stop tribulations, we cannot stop sorrow to come in our life. But if we are shielded by this mask of scriptural knowledges like Bhagavad Gita and the Shastras and Vedas, then and Bible and other Guru Granth Sahib, whichever sources you have in all the religions of the world. So you get a shield, and this shield will protect us from tribulations, and mind gradually will be forced to follow our commands. I hope, Gaurashri ji, I was able to address your query to certain extent.
Okay, thank you, sir. Dr. M. Hormi is saying that it was very interesting talk.
Thank you.
I'm sorry for, I think, if I will spell it out wrongly. Bijeksh Mukherjee is asking, can attached detachment be the way of living, or is there a more better way, mental model of navigating through life and its twists and turns?
If I heard it correctly, he has used the words attached detachment.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not able to grasp.
It's attached, then hyphen, detachment.
Okay. So he's trying to say there is detachment, but it is attached. So actually, attachment and detachment are both, opposites. So maybe he can make it a little bit clear. But assuming that what he might be saying that, okay, we are living in our life in a place where attachment is there, but we are living with a mood of detachment. So I think let us try to understand this question in that way, or maybe he can write again in the chat box if I have not got it properly. So Gita talks about that. Let us try to take this word, our families, our office environment, etc., just like a movie. Okay, when we go to watch a movie and we see there are multiple characters playing their roles. So for 2 hours, when we are watching that movie, enjoying the popcorn and having our coke, so at that time we sometimes become too engrossed in the plot of the movie, right? But once the movie finishes, so after that we realize, oh, it was just a movie and nothing much to worry about. The hero might have died, but let me go and attend my friend's party, so nothing to worry much about. So similarly, this word, we should take it like as a drama being enacted on the word stage, and all of us are supposed to play our roles. So we should not be too much attached to the permanency or impermanency of anything in the word related to our role. We should play our role properly as best as we can in a mood of duty, but again being detached to whatever the actions, whatever the reactions are coming to our actions. So with this detached mentality, we will be able to lead a life which will fulfill us, which will help us progress on the correct mode which rishis of India had devised for us. Dharma, arth, काम, मोक्ष, चार पुरुषार्थ बताए गए हैं, 4 पुरुषार्थas of our life. So dharma, artha, kam, moksha. So if we perform these three, the first three properly, then the path of moksha, liberation from the world, gets strengthened on its own. Thank you. I hope we were able to address whatever
more
we
and more
understood from the
questions
question.
are coming. Ansh Pandey is asking, why should one act if everything is ultimately determined by the divine will?
Very interesting question, Anshji. Actually, Anshji, this is not the correct way to understand. Nowhere it has been claimed that everything has been predestined. Okay. See, this is a very tricky question, and it will require hours and hours of understanding the whole word. The top philosophers of the world have been contemplating from the past centuries to find a proper answer to this question which we have raised. So I will try to give you a small example, and then maybe you will be able to understand. See, just like you might be having a pet, okay? Nowadays, people are very fond of keeping pets. And you have a, what do you call it, with the leash, or there is a word, no? With which you control your pet. So you go to a park, okay, and you are controlling your pet with that rope. Let us use the word rope. So now the pet is independent till the rope has set its boundary. So there, your dog can go left or right, front or back, whatever it wants to do, play on the ground, or whatever it wants to eat. So the pet has a limited freedom, but it cannot exceed the scope of rope. because the rope control is in your hands. So once you will pull the rope towards you, pet will have to come towards you. And once you will elongate the rope, give it some lead, then the pet can only go that far only. So let us try to understand through this analogy that in the world, the supreme controller has given us certain independence. So that much independence we have in our lives, that whatever is happening, we are free to react to it. Just like the seminar is going on, I cannot control anyone or force anyone to keep on continuously listening to me. You are at liberty. You can just leave the class whenever you want to. Just like now we have 70 participants, and just few minutes back we had more than 85. So 15 participants left the class. So that means we have independence to take call. So nature has given us limited independence. So in that independence, in the human form of life, we are accountable for our actions, and we will have to face the reactions also. But the supreme control, as we understood from the example of the pet, so we cannot exceed our boundaries. Just like if God has given me a human body, then I will not be able to go inside a sea and live like a fish. So that way my body is conditioned. I have to follow the natural laws. So we were able to do it little bit, and I hope I was able to little bit clear it.
Yes, thank you, sir. The next question is from Prashant. Here he's asking, is it very hard for me to find friends which help me every time without using me for their benefits? I could not understand why I have not have those kind of friends.
Prashant, sorry to hear about that, but don't feel bad. Everywhere in the world, this kind of tendencies are being seen. So, because this is a personal level question, we will also need to understand that was it something deficient on our part? Did we do something wrong with friends generally, which made them act like in a selfish way? And if we rule out this first possibility, then we should not feel dejected. Word is too big. We have more than 7 billion people on this earth. So I am sure you will come across some good friends. Till the time you don't come across as a good friend, Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, he is the best friend for everyone. So, Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam Sarvalok Maheshwaram Suhridam Sarvabhutanam Gyatva Mam Shantim Richati. He tells Arjun that Suhridam Sarvabhutanam. He says, I am the best friend for everyone. So, try to develop friendship with him. And I am sure you have excellent teachers in your this wonderful institution. Try to develop friends with your teachers. And gradually, your teachers might be knowing some good students in your school who are not selfish as your earlier stands, and teachers might help you get connected to those good souls, and gradually you should be able to develop good friendships. And don't go for quantity of friends. Even if you have one good friend, so that is sufficient to be satisfied in life. Okay, thank you, Prashant. Yeah, I hope it was clear.
Thank you, sir. The next question is from Amarjit Kumar. He is asking, good morning, sir. My question is, sometimes whatever decision I take to improve our marks or achieve goals, it does not work properly, and it gives bad thought about my capabilities. So how should I deal with this type of situation?
Name was Amarjit, right?
Yes, sir. Amarjit.
Yeah. Good morning, Amarjit. See, this is a very common occurrence with all. So first of all, you should not feel bad about being not able to score good always. I'm sure since you have come so far in your life, you must have got good marks at some stages of life. That is why you have been able to gain admission in such institutes of good reputation. So never lose confidence, and try to sit with your teachers and try to understand what mistakes did you commit in your examinations. And and when you will start working on removing those deficiencies which were committed by you inadvertently or knowingly or unknowingly, then I hope in your next exams, you will see some improvement, and definitely you should be able to overcome it. And also try to understand that, try to analyze your life, whether are you, whenever you do for your studies, are you in a fresh state of mind, or are you leading a stressed life? Are you taking proper sleep? Is your body properly nourished? Because our brain, our gut system, they need proper nourishment. So good food, healthy food, sattvic food, fresh food is also a prime necessity. We must take out some time to play some sports also, to keep our blood circulation and all, running properly. So a holistic personality we should try to strive for, and simultaneously you will see good results coming in your academics also in some part of your life in near future. That's for sure.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Meenakshi Prajneshu ma'am is saying Jai Shri Krishna Prabhuji, and she is using the word excellent 3 times to show her appreciation. And
I am a big fan of Dr. Meenakshi ma'am. She has been a constant support, a very good friend to me throughout. And the journey which I began with my Gita sessions, she played the role of the best student there. And I don't have enough words for her. So Aparna ma'am was instrumental in bringing Dr. Meenakshi ma'am close to me. So thank you, Aparna ma'am, also so for recommending me to Meenakshi ma'am, and getting such a good companion for my spiritual journey. Thank you.
Today's last question is from Madhu Rani ma'am. She is asking, if we pray as per our situation allows us, will our prayers be heard, or shall we follow a proper ritual using proper samagri to please the Lord?
Ma'am, both the ways are okay. See, both have their own role. So now take the case of Arjun. He's standing on a battlefield, and the warriors on the other side are ready to, kill him in a second. So at that time, we cannot expect Arjun to worship or offer his prayers with proper paraphernalia by bringing agarbatti and diya and the puja ki thali and flowers and all those things. So we have to be cautious. We have to be aware of the time, place, and circumstances. In Hindi, these are used as desh, kal, patra. So what place you are in, what time is it, and what personality you have in that situation. One may be in a hospital ICU, and he or she may not be able to offer his prayers properly, but that does not restrict the power of supreme energies, supreme energetic person to hear to one's prayers. In the Vedas, it is said that in all the dharmas, it is said that the supreme controller is omnipresent. So he has the power to listen to our prayers in all situations. So if you are able to offer with proper paraphernalia, that is the preferred way. But if you are not able to offer your prayers in the proper way, then just a small prayer from your heart will please him or her and bring his or her help to you. We have the excellent example of Draupadi when she was being disrobed in the Rajya Sabha, in that big Sabha. So she did not offer prayers to Lord Krishna at that time, but she just raised her hands and prayed to him that, "Oh Govind, kindly help me. There is no one to help me here." And Lord Govind came, and all of us know rest is history, how he saved her from that disrobing. So I hope the sincere prayers always work. So that way, never feel bad about it.
Thank you, sir. There are another 2 questions from students. I don't want to omit it, therefore I'm asking
Please.
both questions simultaneously. Rupesh is asking, my question is that how can someone overcome the myth of our society? Like, sir, I believe in Bhagavad Gita, but why people do not believe in doing work rather than always being depending upon God? And Charan is asking, sir, I want to know how can I overcome my distraction and what is the correct or best way to connect to God?
So Rupesh, I think both questions are a little different. If I am able to recall properly, Rupesh ji is saying that he's little bit disappointed when he sees that people don't work properly in the name of God.
Yes.
So yes, Rupesh ji, that is a big problem we have, and that is due to lack of understanding of our religious scriptures. So if one takes out time and devote some energy to understand the scriptures properly, then people will not have these misconceptions. So, as they say in English, half knowledge is dangerous thing. So, like a quack doctor who is not completed his degree starts treating patients, or a person who does not have any full knowledge of a procedure and starts doing an complicated engineering job, they will just do disharm to society. So that is why these problems are being witnessed, and you are very right. So we can, if we are, see, we have to understand what role we can play. So let us try to focus on improving our personality first. You should start understanding Bhagavad Gita and whatever sources of information, proper sources you want to gain inspiration from. Try to better your own personality, try to refine it more, and we can serve our role by being good role examples, role models for the society. So when these lazy people will see us, so they will see us succeeding in life, and when they will try to understand how were we able to succeed, then we can tease them. Okay, you are making this mistake. You are taking liberty, false liberty in the name of God by not doing your actions. But this is not what is said in our scriptures. You, just like we earlier discussed, Krishna clearly says Mate sangastu akarmani. You should not be lethargic. You should not be, averse to doing your duty properly. So I hope, Rupeshji, we were able to address your question properly. Second name was, I think, Mr. Charan, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
Can you just please repeat his question? I forgot.
How can I overcome my distraction, and what is the correct or the best way to connect God?
Okay, so both are a little bit different. They can be connected, but the first aspect first question he's asking is, how can I overcome my distractions? So distractions, Charanji, these are forcefully experienced by us through our senses. So Lord has given the example of a tortoise. So a tortoise has very soft arms, but once it feels that it is under some threat from a upcoming animal powerful than him or her, so tortoise very intelligently covers his arms and legs inside the hard shell and protects itself. So similarly, Lord has given this example that a dheer person, a person who has who wants to progress in life, he should be wary of these distractions and try to control the senses in whichever way it is best possible. That will surely help. And at the advanced level, because controlling senses will not be possible at all times, so at advanced levels, in Bhagavad Gita, he has used the word param drishta nivartate. So once you are able to realize the higher attraction, the healthier and the supreme spiritual beauties that are available in the whole creation. So once you get a higher taste, you will automatically get repulsion to the lower taste. So both the activities are there. Depending on your level and circumstances, we need to progress further in this path. And your second part of the question was related to some God.
What is the correct or best way to connect God?
Okay, connect with God. See, connection happens at a later stage. First, we have to know who is God, whether there is God or not, or whether he is a person or he is just a formless entity. So, for that, there is a whole process available. You need to refer to the proper sources and don't just depend on the internet sources that just you are Googling, okay, God. So, uh, uh, a landlord in a country who might be dealing in drugs could be defined as God on internet. So we should not fall for those things. So there is a proper source of information. All the religions of the world have information about God in their scriptures. All of these religious sources have been explained properly by accomplished acharyas or teachers, or in whatever way you can call prophets. And in Christianity you have preceptors who are bringing this knowledge. So we should approach them properly and try to gain first knowledge about God, then connection will come at a later stage.
Okay, thank you, sir. For the rest of participants, very sorry. Please excuse us for not taking your questions. You can directly mail the questions to sir and he will answer you by email. I request you, sir, to do this. And
yeah, sure. In fact, ma'am, you can show it, or I will show it myself. Gita of Krishna. I will write in the chat box my email ID again so that all can take help of that. Gita of Krishna at gmail.com. So Gita of Krishna at gmail. I have put it inside the chat box, so all of you can note it and drop your mails to me. Please feel free. Don't hesitate. I will be more than glad to be of any help to all of you. And I never claim to know all the answers. No human being can claim that he has understood Bhagavad Gita properly. Bhagavad Gita is much, much more superior to our capacity of human brain. So that way, if I don't have the answer myself, I will make my best efforts to approach my seniors and get an answer for you. So I hope we were able to address most of the questions. If I committed mistake, I again apologize. And I once again thank all of you for listening patiently to this long lecture. I hope I am sorry if we exceeded your time limits, because time is costly
no,
for
sir.
all.
Thank
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
sir. It's
Thank you.
Sir, please accept an e-memento as token of our appreciation.
Oh, so beautiful, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Aparna ma'am will mail it to me, or Parul ma'am will share it with me. Yeah.
Yes, sure, sir. I would like to invite Mrs. Atui Keshimre, who is Assistant Professor in Department of Sociology and also Arts Coordinator in Pettigrew College, to share her thoughts. Please, ma'am.
Welcome. Ma'am has to be unmuted.
So she's going.
Please unmute yourself.
I'll help her out.
Yeah. She is now unmuted. Yeah, ma'am, please proceed.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
ma'am.
please.
Okay. So just 1 second. Yeah. So at the outset, I want to express appreciation and thanks to Shri Kamal Prabhu for the really interesting session. We basically come from a non-Hindu background. Your talk has a refreshing way of looking at life. Thank you much, sir. I also want to thank the V2 team of Deshbandhu College for always taking the initiative to host various programs. Today's webinar is particularly very relevant because the youth in the country, whether it is in the metros or in the far places like ours, are all going through a lot of confusion, with a lot of social anxiety and mental problems. And this session,
I think she got disconnected.
Yeah, bandwidth seems to be low there. Yeah.
Right.
Or she might be advised to keep her video off and then speak. Maybe we will be able to listen properly then.
I think due to some reason, she has lost our connect with the Zoom meet.
Archana, you may proceed further. We can share the message from Pettigrew College through email with Kamal.
Okay, ma'am. So I feel very honored to give vote of thanks. On behalf of the planning committee of the today's talk, I would like to extend our heartfelt thanks for your participation as a speaker for the talk in webinar on Wisdom of Yesterday for Youth of Today from the Bhagavad Gita. The inspiration, enthusiasm, and outcome from this event was extremely positive. Thank you, sir, not only for participating by sharing your expertise with our participants, but in being willing to coordinate a program in a completely virtual classroom setting. We know that this took extra care and skill to adapt your presentation to the style of delivery. Thank you for joining us in this adventure, and all the very best to you in your future endeavors.
Thank
I
you. Thank you so much.
I would like to express our sincere thanks to Mr. Sureshank, Principal Pettigrew College, for giving us an excellent collaboration opportunity without which we will never be able to conduct this event. I also wish to express my gratitude to Professor Pandey, Principal Deshbandhu College, for providing all the possible encouragement and full support to conduct this event. Last but not the least, I, on behalf of Deshbandhu College, Pettigrew College, and the entire Vidya Vistar team, extend a very hearty vote of thanks to all participants for gracing us with your presence today. We have finally come to the end of our program. It has been a great day and a wonderful afternoon with all of you, and we wish to see you soon. Again, thank you all for your presence. Good day to each and every one of you. And now I would request all of you to stand for the national anthem.
जय गण अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगाल विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जाने तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल गायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे
Thank you and namaste to everyone.
Namaste to all once again. Thank you.
Aparna ma'am, is something to be added else?
Please end the meeting now.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you, Aparna ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Kamal. Thank you.
Thank you, Parul ma'am.